And rolling.
Nice.
Okay, just scoot in here. So you want to introduce us?
Hey guys, well, you know who we are by now. If you don't know, this is Jamison.
Hi.
And I'm Adam. And today we're going to be talking about our top 5 horror movies. Since we're getting into that time of the year where, you know, Halloween's right around the corner. And also, we've been on this kind of horror trip.
Yeah.
In a sense. Horror journey.
It's a horror journey. Yeah, let's talk about that. So, okay, yeah, welcome to Film Valor. As you can see, this is our new set, right, for now, which is very simple. Sometimes we like to simplify, you know, for the sake of the DIY people out there that are like, you know, you guys build, you know, crazy digital sets and stuff like that. This is a different kind of thing. You know, we want to sit down, be able to discuss something, and why do all the crazy technical stuff that doesn't wind up serving the purpose of, you know, what we're doing. So we did this instead, and we think it's effective, and we like it. We're going to probably do something like this.
It keeps it loose.
Keeps it loose.
You know.
So part of the good thing about, well, one of the things that we've been exploring right now is horror movies and the horror genre, which, just to start off, I know nothing about, which is great. So that, or I didn't, at least, let's say. So what was fun about this entire experiment about us going on the journey to make a horror movie and stuff like that is Adam knows horror movies, has been growing up on them, and I didn't. So he said, "Let me show you all the great stuff that I've seen over the years and everything else." So he taught a master course in horror history and genre and stuff like that. So then we've been writing our horror movie and developing it as well, and it's been a great process.
Yeah.
So, you know, in it's Halloween time, and we all love Halloween and stuff like that. And we look at we have a Halloween cup. So there it is. And you know, we're excited to during this period to be working on this horror movie, and also to discuss with you guys our favorite horror films. So why don't we first? Who wants to start off? Should we?
Start yours off first, I'd say.
Okay, so yes, since I'm the noob here, we'll start with me. I'm gonna go in reverse order with my top 5. Okay, and we're gonna save our comments for afterwards. Number 5, Scream 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. We got some shocks in the audience. Number 4, The Conjuring. I love The Conjuring. It's a great movie. There's a lot of reasons why. Number 3, Evil Dead 2. 2, not 1, not 3. They're good, but 2 is mine. Then we have Halloween, John Carpenter's Halloween, of course, classic, which is a great Halloween movie.
Not Rob Zombies.
Not Rob Zombies, no, because I actually have not seen that, so we're going to keep that out for the moment, and I would doubt that surpasses in my mind.
Leave your comments in the link below.
In the link below, on your favorite horror movies as well. And here's my number 1. My number 1 is The Fog by John Carpenter. Yeah, which is I loved, and he showed me, and I think he was surprised how much I was like, you know, let's this is the horror movie. You know, this is the real horror movie for me. I don't know why. I just love the atmosphere. You want to say yours?
Yeah. My number 5 is The Blair Witch Project.
Okay. Yes.
I thought that was cool.
That's cool.
Number 4 was Hellraiser. Clive Barker's Hellraiser.
Yeah. Okay.
The first one. I like, you know.
The first one. Clarify that.
Yeah. Well, I do like the second one, but then, you know, it kind of.
Right.
But we'll go into that. Yeah. Number 3 was, and I cheated on this, was Evil Dead, and I really put 1, 2, and Army of Darkness. I mean, I can't separate them, so...
Yeah, that's an interesting point.
What do I say? Number 2, where we at 2? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so, right? Yeah.
Halloween. You know, John Carpenter, Halloween. Of course, you know, when you're a kid, you see that.
Yes.
You know, it sticks with you.
It's a great movie. Just a great movie.
And number 1, what was number 1 really? Number 1 was, what did I say?
The Thing.
Oh yeah, The Thing. Yeah.
The Thing.
I don't know why I forgot about it, but it's...
I remembered his number 1 from past conversations, but I did not know the others. But The Thing.
The Thing is my movie.
That is a great movie too.
You know, so...
Really?
Yeah, pretty much it's a lot of Carpenter. You know, all the movies, I think even from both of us, span about, you know, 30, 40 years. Right?
Yeah, right. And I think the interesting thing too, especially the differences in the list, because we did not know each other's lists, with the exception of me knowing his number 1. We did really not know each other's lists at all. so we can have a more fluid discussion about them. And yeah, I think one of the interesting parts, I think for anyone else that's trying to get out and look at horror and understand horror, I really kind of saw the Conjuring series as my first foray into horror, because I never really watched it. Obviously scared the crap out of me as a little kid, but then just never really got that interested in it. It always seemed like a foreign thing that didn't make sense. But the Conjuring, and then, you know, my discussions with him led to me like, you know, I really should check out more. And John Carpenter's work, to me, if for anyone else out there that has not watched that much horror and wants to get into the genre, Carpenter's work is unbelievably great filmmaking. And on a lot of levels, I think he does not get enough credit for that, which is a lot of conversations that we've had in terms of the filmmaking that was done, you know.
And the choices, I think.
Great choices. Yeah, I mean, they're excellent choices. They're great movies. I mean, he did some remakes too, he did remakes great, and you know, and that's not always a thing that's done.
And there was one or two movies that you felt like why did he do this? You know,
there was also those.
You know, and so you get a whole spectrum of Carpenter, and
he's an interesting filmmaker.
Yeah.
He really is, and he just seems like an interesting guy. And part of one of the things that we've been watching too was these horror cafe things that you were
showing. It was.
And maybe we could tell them a little bit about that. What is that?
Yeah, that was the horror cafe. I believe was like something in like 1990. You can find it on YouTube. It was like Clive Barker, John Carpenter. And so many other people who are known for writing stories of horror and sci-fi, and they get together for I guess a dinner, trying to create this new movie.
It's like dinner in a haunted house. Yeah, which is cool.
Yeah, that
part is cool. Yeah,
and they start talking about what scared them as a kid, or what is fear, or how it is interpreted.
Maybe we should link to that below.
Yeah, we should.
We should link to that below, because that was really cool. And you had a better, like, even if you hadn't gone into watching their movies yet, that you had a great sense of like what drove them to do the filmmaking they were doing, which is interesting in the horror realm. Because of a lot of reasons, but the fact that that's the drive to make a genre picture is something that was personal to them.
Right.
Is cool, because you don't really often hear about that as a concept. But anyway.
Or just hearing them talk about it, what is the conversation,
and how it got put together and all that stuff.
The choices of what it comes down to is why would you have that in there in the story compared to something else, and why does it make it different?
Yeah.
And especially for Carpenter and for me, Clive Barker as well.
Yeah.
I thought they took their movies in a direction, their stories in a direction that were entertaining. And not just for the sake of doing something scary or bloody or dealing with lots of shadows or whatever. They all had. It had purpose.
Right, exactly. Barker's an interesting guy, and Hellraiser is nowhere near my list, which is interesting. And it's a good distinction between the two. Like, I have Scream, which would be probably nowhere near your list.
Well, that surprised me.
Yeah. We should talk about that. I just like the Scream movies because of the reflection of of what Carpenter was doing and done as a comedy. It's like almost in the same way that Deadpool has become a spin on the superhero genre.
Right, yeah.
It's like, and there's an interesting article that I read that was about it said it was really about the death of a genre, and it was a discussion of how when the genre is almost dead, it becomes a parody of itself, and that becomes the next popular movie in the genre. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of an interesting point about the slasher movie, even though I wouldn't say it's totally dead, especially because there's another Halloween out now.
Right.
But the Scream movie to me was like a nice bookend on that, and at least on that realm of those movies. And so that's why I liked it. And I thought that 2 was better than 1 in the sense of it being outrageously, like a crazy situation. It's like hijinks almost. It's
2 is better than 1. I mean,
yeah,
that's a statement.
I think yeah.
Because I like 1, but I like 1, 2, and 3. But I mean,
it could be an unpopular opinion, but I think 2 is better because it's just more fun for me. But I like those characters.
Yeah,
I like how ridiculously intertwined they get, and like everything gets...
Jamie Kennedy, is that his name?
Yeah.
I like him. His character's always cool.
Courtney Cox is
Courtney
great.
Cox, David Arquette. I mean, it's...
Neve Campbell?
Neve Campbell.
She's great, and we really like her a lot. And actually, we just kept talking about that as we were watching these movies. Like, she's really good, and she really provides the foundation of those very silly, wacky movies of being like, oh, it's like a serious thing. I think if she played it wacky, it probably wouldn't have worked as well. She kind of plays it like dead serious. You know, she's like...
Yeah.
Which works. I think it's effective. And in terms of Hellraiser is an interesting is interesting because it's just another kind of movie that is bloody, that is violent. That's not necessarily my cup of tea, but I appreciate the first one because of the family issues.
I think the story is good in the first one. I like the story in the first one. Second one, it's more of a visual aspect, and you get that whole sense of where the Cenobites came from and all. So it kind of completes the package.
That's a good point.
And the second one takes it, I think, a little bit darker.
It does.
In terms of, there's a couple of scenes where you're just like, all right, that's kind of gruesome, or that's a little hard to watch. But, you know, it has its moments. But for me, the first one was... I like
the first one is great. So I think in summary, these are our favorite horror movies. We hope you're enjoying your Halloween time as much as we are with our Halloween cup at Film Valor. And that's it for now. We're going to be signing off as I awkwardly cross the room to turn off the camera.
Take care, guys.